I went to school here when I was, a kid, teenager. This is a vocational school, man. How cool is that? So I learned how to work on cars here. In fact, the bullpen, or they call it the bullpens back there. Anyway, I had a Thunderbird just like the one I'm driving today. When I was in high school, my teacher took a liking to it. He gave me a bunch of paint. So here's a short story on how I painted that T-Bird. I'll roll in some pictures as well. Hey, this is my old parking spot. I feel like I need to go over there and check out my old parking spot. How's that? So I got this T-Bird. It was an 82 Thunderbird, and it was kind of a turd, of course. I was a kid. And can I get through there? I guess I can. Yeah, this was my old parking spot. I used to park all the way in the front because it was the quickest to get out. The buses parked, the teachers and shit parked over there. But I parked over here in this area, right here. That was my parking spot right there. And I'd be the first one out, one of the first ones out. Good old times. But I had this old T-Bird, and he said, hey, do you want to paint it white? I got some white paint I can give you. And I said, no, I don't want to paint it white. I don't like white, which is funny because I like white now. I wanted to paint it black. Well, I don't have any black paint. Okay, no big deal. Well, anyway, that couple weeks later, I basically ran from the cops. I ran a stop sign, and the cop seen me, and he was not in an actual cop car. That's why I did not stop. And he chased after me, and he was like in a Volkswagen. I outrun him. I just got lucky and outran him. I guess he thought maybe the risk was too much. But anyway, I hid the car, and that following week, I went to school, and I asked my teachers, like, man, you still got that white paint? He goes, yeah. You changed your mind? I said, yeah. So he gave me the white paint, and that Thunderbird stayed in the school for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. And I was able to paint that car white. I took the vinyl top off of it. I Frenched the doors, everything. I just made sure the thing looked like a different car altogether. And he never got my plate because I still had temp tags, and the temp tag fell down and it was on the back. You couldn't see it basically. So I got away with it. It was pretty cool. It was cool for however old I was. I was like 17, 18, something like that. But yeah, I got away with that, and that's why I painted the car white. So that's why I got like this affectionary feeling for, or what would you call that? A nostalgic feeling for this particular Thunderbird, is because I had one as a kid, and I got a little story that I just told you. But when I first went to school, I had a 94 Cougar, and I was leaving school, and I was coming down this very road here, okay? And I was with my buddy Chad, who was an absolute fucking maniac.
Ready? Go for it.
Woo! Shit, that was hot. This whole orifice was like.
Are you cool with those? Is it still stinging?
Yeah.
It's your turn to get burnt.
And he was always telling me to do crazy shit. And we got down to this intersection, and I don't know if he told me. I actually don't remember this occasion, but I will tell you how I now remember it. I got down to this intersection to get onto the highway so I can go back home. Because, I didn't live in this area. I had to take the highway home. This was a vocational school that we drove to. So I got down to this light down here. And for one reason or another, I decided to do a beautiful smoky burnout and make a left-hand turn. And probably just to show off. You know how you are when you're a teenager. You just want to think you're hot shit, So I'm at this light right here. And I do this wicked, gnarly burnout, and I fishtail through the intersection while I'm making a left-hand turn, okay? Well, I didn't know, but over here was a cop, but he couldn't pull me over because there was an accident over here this way. And he witnessed the whole thing, but he couldn't pull me over because he was at a wreck. Like there was a crash, and he had to do like a police report. He couldn't get me. And I was like the bandit. I was going down this way, I'm trying this way. And he couldn't get me, but he got enough details. It was a green Cougar. All right, whatever. And I came out of this intersection. So he just assumed I must have came from the school, and that I'm some dumbass teenager that goes to the vocational school back there. So I come back to school Monday after an extremely long weekend of partying my ass off. Trust me, back when I was crazy when I was a kid. And so it's relatively, I'm new to this school, by the way. And the teacher didn't even know my name. So the bay doors, it was a shop class, auto class. So we had bay doors, garage doors. They were open. And cop car pulls up. And it actually was 2 cop cars that pull up. They got out of the car, and my teacher walked over to talk to them. They said something. They come back, and now we're sitting in this U-shaped class thing where everybody's kind of getting the announcements for the morning. My shop teacher walks back into the shop, walks up to the U-shaped with all those kids sitting there. He points at me and he says, "Pretty boy, come here." And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not pretty. I had John Travolta hair back then, from think of Pulp Fiction, right? So I look like a jackass. So anyway, the cop, this is the way I went. I turned left. So the cop, he's like, What'd you do Friday? And I'm like, I don't really know. And I'm thinking, man, I did so much shit Friday. I don't know what I did. I did a bunch of illegal shit. I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, don't play fucking dumb with me. He's yelling at me. He's like, what'd you do Friday when you left school? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you drive a green Cougar with a busted turn signal on the left side, license plate. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, what the fuck did you do when you left school Friday night? And I'm like, I don't know, because I legitimately did not know, because I'm thinking what the fuck is this cop yelling at me for? So he starts screaming at me. My teacher walks in and closes the bay door so the other kids couldn't hear me get my ass chewed out. And I told the guy, I'm like, listen man, I don't know what the fuck you're yelling at me for, but you're just gonna have to tell me, because I don't know. I did a bunch of shit this weekend. I'm a kid, what the fuck, So then he explains to me I did a gnarly ass burnout, fishtailed through the intersection, filled the intersection with smoke, and he couldn't pull me over because he was at a wreck. He was making an accident report. Oh, okay, man, I'm sorry. He goes, no, motherfucker, I'm going to take your license until you're fucking 18. And I remember I was 18. I just turned 18. I was like, I'm already 18. He was like, I'll take it to the 21, motherfucker. And he's yelling at me and shit. The guy was getting so fucking nuts that eventually, my teacher told me to go inside. And the teacher went out there and talked to him for a bit. So I went back in class, and everybody's looking at me as if I was I don't know. I mean, just imagine if the cops show up, pull you out of a classroom, and then the cops are screaming at you, and you walk back into the classroom, you sit amongst them. They're going to think you're pretty fucking badass. So that's kind of what it felt like. But I was also nervous because I didn't know what was about to happen. But it was kind of cool. I had the cool spotlight put on me. So the teacher comes back in. I go back outside with the cop. And the cop tells me, he's like, listen, your teacher informed me that if I take your license, you're never going to get a job in automotive, which is why you're here. So I'm going to tell you what. He said to me, I'm not going to do anything so that you can basically have a career that you want. But if you do anything, as in not use a turn signal, not put on a seatbelt, if I see anything wrong with your car, I will pull you over and take your fucking license. And that cop hounded me for a good solid month after that occasion. So I minded my P's and Q's when I was driving through Sharonville. So my teacher was really cool. He told me he did that, save my ass, and all that blah, blah, blah. So that's a story. I hope you enjoyed it. I was a kid when I was 18. I guess I technically wasn't a kid, but that was, and then for the rest of the school year, that was kind of the interesting story about me. So it was a good time, and I miss those days. And now I'm driving the same car I had during those days. It's kind of fun. It's what would you call that? The retro time machine is what I got. So anyway, I hope you like that story. I really do. If you did like it, you know, thumbs up, leave a comment, tell me your story about you in high school and the cops if you got one. I got more. If you want to hear them, also let me know. I got plenty of cops fucking with me when I was a kid stories, and hot rod stories and all kinds of shit. So let me know if you're interested in that. All right, guys, take care and be safe. Don't do fucking burnouts through intersections and shit.